When we talk about spirituality, most people picture a calm, peaceful figure, a saintly person who never gets angry. But Indian tradition tells a different story. Some of the most revered sages were known for their intense emotions, even anger. Yet, they were deeply enlightened. So, what does that tell us? That there is no single way to be spiritual. We often equate spirituality with being saintly, always serene, always gentle. But spirituality is not limited to one temperament. Some sages, like Rishi Vashishtha, embodied calm wisdom. Others, like Rishi Durvasa, were known for their fiery temper. Neither approach is more or less spiritual. They are simply different. Durvasa's anger wasn't a flaw. It was part of who he was, and it served a purpose. He upheld dharma, often teaching hard lessons through his outbursts. On the other hand, Rishi Vashishtha taught with patience and kindness. Both were enlightened, both were spiritual, yet their methods couldn't have been more different. The key is understanding that one is not better than the other. Spirituality is not about being in a certain way. It's about being true to your nature and fulfilling your purpose. Sages like Parashurama took up drastic actions as part of their duty. They didn't resort to anger or violence for the sake of it. It was simply how they were, how their path unfolded. But that doesn't mean anger or violence is the only way. Another sage might achieve the same outcome through peace, like Gautama Buddha did. The point is, neither approach is superior. Their actions were driven by a deep alignment with Dharma, not by concern for how others perceived them. They did what was necessary, not what others expected. Another common misconception is that all spiritual people are saintly beings, but being spiritual and being a saint are not the same. Saints often embody gentleness and forgiveness, but not all spiritual beings fit that mold. A sage or a seer may be intense, passionate, or even fierce, and still be profoundly enlightened. You can be a saint without being truly spiritual, just as you can be deeply spiritual without embodying the traits people expect from a saint. Spirituality is as diverse as nature itself. Some enlightened beings are as calm as a still lake, while others are as fierce as a storm. Both are valid expressions of enlightenment. There is no single path, no single way to be spiritual. The message is simple. There is no defined way to be spiritual. Some will embody peace, others will embody fire. Neither is more or less enlightened than the other. Spirituality is not about fitting into a mold. It's about walking your unique path with authenticity. So let's move beyond the idea that being spiritual means being saintly. Spirituality is vast, complex, and deeply personal. It's not about how you look or act. It's about your alignment with truth. I've heard about many yogis and masters from the past, and not a single one of them was free from these stereotypes. There is a reason why a yogi becomes much more famous or revered after their passing or taking Mahasamadhi. While there were a lot of people who recognized them when alive, not a single realized being lived without being labeled as fake or con men, just because people have a set idea of how a spiritual person should be. Not to mention, there were a fair share of actual frauds too. If you can just simply read between the lines, it's not really difficult to identify someone genuine. While it's always coming from trolls and people who have nothing to do with spirituality, it's truly unfortunate when even genuine seekers miss the chance because of their beliefs and stereotypes. A yogi or a guru can't do this, can't do that. He's arrogant. Why is he earning money? Why is he partying? Why is he wearing casual clothes like normal humans? And the list goes on. My suggestion would be to spend as much time as possible actually understanding what spirituality means in different cultures and getting to know about different masters or realized beings and their ways. In some parts of Bharat, there are gurus, usually Kriya yogis. If you're sensitive to energies, you can literally feel something just by being in their presence. Some people could even feel tingling sensations around different chakras simply by being near these kinds of gurus. While there are other kinds of teachers, like acharyas, who do not work with internal energies in the same way, they are scholarly. Comparing the two is pointless. The path is entirely different, but the goal is the same.